First Professional Institute of Aesthetics. Laser Epilation. Diode laser operating principles. We press the button to switch on the device. Some devices can be switched on by turning the key. The interface pops up. The device performs the self-test and pictures of a man and a woman are displayed. We click on one of pictures to display the epilation areas. We select the area that we need, for example, arms, and the required working parameters will pop up on the screen. We can see the epilation area and the numbers 1 to 3 on the screen. Those numbers refer the phototype. In this device, the 6 phototypes are combined into 3. Number 1 is the lightest skin, number 2 is yellow or dark skin, and number 3 is extremely dark skin. We select the phototype, e.g. number 2, which refers to the phototype 3 or 4. The next parameter is the power of density, i.e. the power that will be selected for the operating the laser device. The next parameter is the pulse width, which means the duration time that the flash emits light. The following parameter is frequency. It is measured in Hertz and shows the rate of pulse emission from the handpiece. When the frequency is 5, the number of emitted pulse will be 5 and the operating speed will be high. When the frequency is 3, the number of pulses emitted from the handpiece will be 3 and the operating speed will be the lowest. The frequency and the operating speed determine the depth of pulse penetration into the skin. The higher the frequency, the less depth the flash exposure. The lower the frequency, the deeper the flash exposure. For large areas that are known as cold areas, the frequency must be 4 or 5. Those areas are large and the hair is not so deep there. Therefore, their epilation should not take much time and the duration of the entire procedure will not be affected. For the areas that are known as hot areas, including the bikini area, the face and the armpits, the frequency must be 3. Those areas have a good blood supply. The patient's feelings are always intense and the follicles are deep. Therefore, we should use low frequency and slow speed here. This is the counter. It counts the number of pulses used during the procedure and measures the operating life of the device. The next parameter is the snowflakes, which means cooling. The maximum cooling level provided by a device is 5 snowflakes or -4 degrees. There are ready and standby buttons. When we are ready to work, we click the ready button and start working. When we need to stop, we click the standby button. Their icons display the current status of the device. The flashing lock indicates that the device will be disabled and we cannot perform the procedure. The basket shows the amount of water in the system. When the basket is full, the amount of water is sufficient. The flashing tab indicates that the amount of the water is reduced and must be added. The temperature shows the ambient temperature that is comfortable for device operation. The device is provided with a red button. This is the emergency lock button of the device. It can only be pressed in case of an emergency, such as fire, flood or earthquake, when you need to leave the room immediately. When we press this button, the device is switched off. It will not only disable the system, but also cut off the mains power supply. This precaution is necessary since laser devices are highly hazardous components of class 3 or 4, and if we continue to supply power to such device in case of an emergency, it can cause an explosion. The system can disable itself. for diode lasers is it also known as the smart system, which can disable itself in case of an emergency. It can automatically help us select the parameters and perform the self-test all the time. That's why we can see those icons. When you move the device, it can also disable itself. It will feel the vibration and this button will be automatically activated even without pressing it. This is why inexperienced users will always get confused when they switch the device on, but it does not start. Just check the lock button and press or turn it so that the device can restart. Diode lasers are provided with integrated cooling. The system is filled with water that circulates through the piping system and cools down the internal components of the device and the handpiece. It is also equipped with area cooling fans that cool down the internal system of the device. At the back of the device, there is the on-off button and the connector that is plugged into the socket and the device. As you can see, there are also several different ports in this section. This is the technological port for the earthing circuit of the device. We are not interested in it. This port with pins can be used to connect the foot switch for device control instead of controlling it by hand using the button. Some people find that option very comfortable. The bottom port is used to drain the water from the system. The water must be refilled once a month. Only distilled water can be used. When we fill the system with tap water, it can quickly get damaged. We open the valve and insert the hose with the funnel. We open the air relief valve so that the air can start entering the system and the water will drain. Please use a basket. The amount of refilling water must be the same as the drained amount. Once the water stops draining, we close both valves and open the third one. Move the hose, lift the funnel up and fill the system with water until it starts to drain and bubble. These devices can also be provided with filters for cleaning the system. The filters are usually arranged at the side, but they are not always provided. Filters represent extendable items that need to be replaced every 3 months. The laser device comprises complex electrical and electromagnetic systems. Therefore, it is recommended to plug it in through the power distribution system known as transformers. That will protect your device in case of power outage. The working tool of the device is known as the handpiece. The electromagnetic coil and the pump lamp are arranged inside the device box. The electrical pulse from the mains supply is transmitted to the electromagnetic coil, which starts to heat up and activates the lamp. The lamp produces a lot of energy that is supplied into the handpiece. The handpiece represents the working tool, and the name of the laser depends on the material inside it. Alexandrite lasers use alexandrite. Diode lasers use gallium arsenide with the semiconductor strips. The working material inside the handpiece has its own operating life. The handpiece contains a tube with the working material, which is heated by the lamp. The working material starts to heat up and generates atoms. There is a system of mirrors inside the tube, through which the atoms can resonate. Their numbers increases, and when they become too many, the laser beam is discharged through the hole in the mirror. The handpiece of a diode laser resembles a gun, as opposed to that of an alexandrite laser, which resembles a pen or a pencil. That's a big difference. We also use photoepilators, but they are known as broadband lasers. Marketing specialists often use the wrong terms in this case, and it is very important to know the difference. This one here is a gun. The handpiece of a broadband laser looks like a lamp. They also have different operating principles, so please make sure you don't confuse them with each other, and it is important to be familiar with those things. What's inside the handpiece? There is a little glass, which is also called the working glass or the aperture. As I mentioned earlier, if you look inside it, you will see the strips indicating that this is a semiconductor diode laser. The additional cooling provided inside this handpiece is the sapphire glass and the peltier elements. Just imagine how much cooling is provided by the diode laser. It is very intense and includes water cooling, air cooling, peltier elements, and sapphire glass. Safety procedures applied when using the laser devices. The number one rule is that the equipment can only be operated when it is in good condition. During the maintenance of the device, it needs to be disconnected from the main supply. The epilation room must be provided with both natural and artificial lighting to ensure the highest possible accuracy. The windows must be provided with shutters to avoid the direct sunlight. There must be no mirror or reflective surfaces within the operating field of the laser to prevent the laser beam from deflection. Light colors must be used for the floor, the walls, and the expandable items. Please use a non-conductive mat or wear rubber-soled shoes and keep a fire extinguisher in the room. Supply and exhaust ventilation is necessary due to the large amount of nitrogen oxide produced during the operation of the laser device. This is a toxic volatile substance, but what makes it really dangerous is the time of exposure rather than the amount. Therefore, the room must be ventilated to make sure that this volatile substance is evaporated. First Professional Institute of Aesthetics.